Hello there. Should you be seeing this video and you are not in the UK, you may please scroll. To the rest of us in the room, please lend me your ears. If you are on the sponsorship route of healthcare visa in the UK, this episode is specifically for you. Are you aware that as a healthcare assistant, support worker, domiciliary worker on the sponsorship journey, UK government is not prepared to give you a permanent resident status called ILR. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years, and certainly not even in 15 years has been proposed. Hear this. The initial immigration rule upon which the entirety of care workers were recruited into the UK has it that you shall be restricted to the identified job role, technically restricted to your only employer and your specific location for 5 years of hard and loyal labor, after which you'll be able to proceed to a permanent resident status. This is the reason the longest residence card, BRP, you will find around carries only 5 years. Therefore, after the stipulated longest 5 years, you can be free to work with any employer of your choice in any part of the UK, pursuing any dream or passion if any energy is still left in you. But the UK has something else up their sleeves. You want to know? Alas, in the course of studying the immigration rules today, I came across the greatest shock of my life. If as a carer, you started your skilled visa route journey in 2022, expecting a settled status by 2027, do you know that the UK government would not or may never issue you any indefinite resident status at all? Not in 2027, not by 2032 in 10 years, not even 15 years after by 2037. And indeed, you may never ever be so qualified for ILR as a carer or even a senior HCA. It is not a function of patience, neither is it a function of resilience. Is this a dream? A joke taken too far? Not many are in the know that they may no longer be able to extend their stay in the UK come 2028, July 22nd precisely. I'll give you a scenario and I'll prove this to you under the website of gov.uk in a short while. This episode shall explore how the UK has planned to quietly and subtly end the legal stay of all carers, support workers, domiciliary workers who came on the sponsorship route a year ago, 2 years ago, and 3 years ago. You don't understand what I mean. Let's be more direct. The new rules being proposed for either 10 years or 15 years on a continuous work visa stay before qualifying to apply for a permanent residence status exist such that no one in that category is able to get there at all. Tacitly, the government has blocked the chances of ever being able to qualify to apply. In other words, if the qualifying period is granted for 15 years as been proposed, and the care workers visa route is being abolished or expunged by July 22, 2028, how then do you qualify to apply? Not even in 10 years. Come, let me show you this. I extracted out this information from gov.uk. You see what is changing? End of overseas recruitment. After they established the overseas recruitment in February 2022, all right, it came to an end on July 2025, the same July 22nd, 2025, something around 3 years, okay? And let us read it together. The route for care workers and senior care workers to come to the UK from abroad on a visa was closed on 22 July 2025. This is from gov.uk. That means from that date, care homes and other providers can no longer sponsor new care workers from overseas. This applies to occupations under SOC codes 6135, care workers home carer, and 6136. And then, to the people that are in the UK who will no longer be able to apply, this is what is applicable to you. What about people already in the UK or those that are switching visas? This is your main condition. There is a transition period until 22 July 2028. What this means is this. People already in the UK may switch into a care worker or senior care worker role via a visa switch if you change your employer, if they have been legally employed by the sponsoring provider for at least 3 months. I'm not really bothered about that. The question is, there is a transition period until July 22, 2028. So by July 22, 2028, there will be no more sponsorship for anybody called care worker visa, healthcare assistant, carer, domiciliary worker, support worker, senior support worker. There will be no more. There will be no more sponsorship for you. You will no longer be able to switch your visa, switch an employer, or switch or extend your stay. Any form of visa-related issue, such as sponsorship or getting a new visa in the name of sponsorship, as long as you are a carer, there will no longer be that. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is this. If you come in, let me play it for you more specifically, like a scenario. If you switch from student visa to a carer, I'll use the simple term, carer, to a carer's visa, care work visa in 2023. That's 2023 and you are given 5 years. Let's say that happens in December. You switch in December 2023. Okay? And then you are given 5 years. That will elapse in 2028 December, by which time there is no longer occupation code of this nature and this. There won't be visa sponsorship anymore for you as a carer or a support worker or anything within that field. You can no longer apply for sponsorship, is the point I'm making. If you got what I mean. So you had applied, don't forget, for instance, let's say December 20, I'm not sure if you have seen this, December 2023. And this elapsed in December 2028, your 5 years duration. By December 2028, it is already past July 2028, which means by the time you are finishing, even if they say it is now 10 years, so it's not 15 years, by the time you are finishing in December 2028, you can no longer apply for an extension of your COS. Neither can you say you want to get the COS elsewhere, because there is no more anything of care work visa for you anymore. You are left with 2 or 3 or whatever options, amongst which I will only say you can decide to go back to school still as an international student, right? 1. Or if you have studied to the high level of, say, a nurse during this period, then you can switch to becoming a nurse. You can still get sponsorship as a nurse. But if you are still looking for a thing within your sponsorship, because what people are not getting, why I say you will not be able to apply for ILR, is the fact that even if you are giving 10 years, it's not, let alone 15 years. If you are giving 10 years and you finish your first 5 years in 2028, do you understand what I mean? December 2028, you can't apply for another 5 years because there is no more care work visa for you. This is the reason I said, atokere, lelekojeje ti mekun sun, loloju jijin, sorry, ti mekun sun. So if you need to become a nurse, start preparing, from today, of which I don't know where you get the international fee for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. That's up to you. It's not my headache, Meanwhile, if you have just gotten your visa, this is an example. Another example for you to know what I'm talking about. If you have just gotten your visa in 2024, you just switch your visa, or you just came from Nigeria in 2024 or Ghana or wherever in 2024 January. For 5 years, that would elapse in 2029, same January. That is way past this duration of 2 July 2028. The only people that might be able to apply twice, get another 10 years, are these people. Let me show you real quickly. Are the people that got, their COS, who are on the COS from, let's say, 2022, right? 2022. Either from February, March, April, let's say June, or July, or August 2022. So yours will expire by 2022, that's 2027. Okay? 2027 of, let's say, same June. 2022 to 2027, it is not up to 2028. If your employer is kind enough, he or she may extend for you another 5 years, if you are lucky, or 3 years, or whatever. Let us assume generously that you are given another 5 years. That will elapse in 2032. Okay? After that, no more, because this whole program expires on the 22nd of July 2028. So while they were proposing 15 years, if you are following me, is that after this 10 years, you can no longer get another one, because there is no more visa upon which to carry you till 2037. Are you following? Do you understand where I'm coming from? So some people might be lucky to get to 2032. Some might be lucky to get to 2031 if their first visa, the first leg of their 5 years, expires in 2028 early. They might be lucky to get to 2031. Do you understand? After that, after those periods, you can no longer. And this is the reason they deliberately increased it in proposition though, or in proposal if you like, to 15 years, such that it will capture everybody that switched to healthcare visa from the start of that program. From the start of that program in 2022. Because if they had left it to say, okay, let us use 10 years, some of these people that switched to healthcare visa in 2022, they will skate through. If they get one to 2027, from 2027, they got another one. Don't forget, they can still apply because the program technically ends in 2028. They can still get another sponsorship till 2032. If they got that, they will be able to scale through. Meanwhile, the government does not want anybody to scale through. Do you understand what I mean? This information is clear and it is on gov.uk. Go and find it out. Government is very quiet and silent about it. The summary of this whole episode is such that you know that there is no plan of anybody called carer or support worker or healthcare assistant towards becoming anything called permanent resident. There is no such plan. So all this noise or all this razzmatazz about we are considering, all those are just game show. Do you know what I mean? The earlier you start planning your next plan, the better for you. I'm not scaring you. I'm just letting you know what government is being very quiet, subtly about. Okay? And I will prove to you what I mean by that. They will scale through this proposition. I'll give it to you chronologically in some other episodes to come. Are you shocked by this revelation? You should be. So was I. And so I am still. Upon discovering this silent clause in the UK immigration rules for the HCAs and senior HCAs, it came to my imagination that the earlier the affected people get to know of their fate in clear terms and in truth, the better for them. The holy wisdom of the Yorubas has it that Ati okere ni olójú jíjìn tí mú ẹkún sùn. It is from afar that a person with a vision or foresight starts preparing for tears. Meaning, you have to be proactive, be prepared. Don't be caught unaware. Be guided and rightly so. And again, ogun àwítẹ́lẹ̀ kò gbọdọ̀ parọ́. Eléyìí tó bá gbọ́n. A war whose coming is announced ahead of its onset does not kill a cripple. The one who is wise takes it. These proverbs essentially mean that when a person is forewarned about an impending danger or difficult situation, they have the opportunity to take necessary precautions to protect themselves. Is this clarion call needed at all? Or is this some sort of scaremongering? You be the judge. Did you ask why they changed it from 10 years being bandied around as advocated by the almighty Kemi Badenoch? Because it will not encapsulate everyone. Some may escape. And hey, forget Kemi here. She's just a pencil in the hand of the senders. She's just an ignorant or unaware messenger, known or unknown to her by herself. Just as MD Tiamiyu was ignorant of how it was being used against his own. Story for another day. UK knows what they were doing from the word go. By the time UK is done, it is said that it will be one of the globally strictest countries immigration-wise. I am here this minute to raise some silent questions into your subconscious. Thank you for listening once again. Kenny Balogun here.